The Libertarian Party will not support this motion. We agree that there is wasteful spending that needs to be cut, and we don't have a natural instinct to rush to Labor's defence. But this motion is misguided. The Labor government is 100% correct to say that they don't have enough money available to put into an ever-growing bureaucracy. The simple reality of state budgeting in this country is that state governments in Australia have very little control over revenue, with almost half of all the revenue received by the New South Wales government in the form of a welfare cheque from Canberra. This is a terrible way to run a federation, which creates warped incentives that undermine productivity and governmental responsibility. It has been decades, Mr President, since a state premier or state opposition leader went into an election campaign and said, "Vote for me and I'll cut your taxes and spending." We never even hear that rhetoric anymore. They don't do that because the system incentivises state leaders to not try and find efficiencies, but to perfect the art of begging for more money from Canberra. And when they are successful in that endeavour, they come back to their voters and say, "Oh look, I've done a great job, I've got more money out of Canberra." Of course, the money's been taken off the people of New South Wales, recycled through the Canberra bureaucracy and handed back to them. Oh, thank you, Canberra. Anyway, this is the system that we have. The Libertarian Party once again invites the other parties to join us in demanding that the federal income tax should be abolished and income taxing powers returned to the states so that we can make the so-called federation an actual federation. Now, yes, that will mean there will be state government taxes, and we'll have competition amongst the 6 states to have the most efficient tax system, which of course will be lower taxes. Until and unless that happens, then the only option available for a responsible state government is to be exceptionally prudent with the money that they have. Indeed, the Libertarian Party believes that the government needs to cut spending on the bureaucracy further, both to weaken the ungodly power of bureaucrats in our political process and also so that the government can cut the inefficient taxes that they do actually have control over. Instead of focusing on the growing bureaucracy, the government should shrink the bureaucracy and then increase the threshold where a small business is forced into the payroll tax net. That threshold is currently 1.2 million, which our Treasurer hasn't lifted since he's been the Treasurer. It hasn't even kept up with CPI, has it, Mr Treasurer? The Libertarian Party supports raising the payroll tax threshold to 2 million, which overnight would boost small business, improving market competition and push up real wages in the private sector. We realise this is unlikely at the moment. Both major parties are afraid of microeconomic reform, and so the state finances continue to muddle through the middle. But at least that is better than diving straight into economic ruin, which is what would happen if this motion were to be taken seriously, and which is why I will be voting against the motion.